Welcome everyone. For anyone who is watching this recording or here and new, my name is Emily and I just want to welcome you into this session. We're going to begin by putting some things in the giant worry ball. If you like, you can cross your hands over your chest and begin a gentle bilateral tapping. You might like to also introduce a gentle sway. And we're just going to bring to the forefront of our minds 3 things that you would like to let go of. Just going to adjust my microphone as you bring them to your mind. Super organized this morning. And what we're going to do is we're going to take 3 deep breaths. After each inhale, we're going to pause with the breath at the top and then exhale with a big audible sigh, and imagine just letting go of each of those 3 things and imagine them making their way into the worry ball. So getting hold of that first thing in your mind and taking a nice big inhale, pausing at the top of that breath, and a nice big sigh, letting go. And just whenever you're ready to take your next inhale, breathing in through the nose, filling up your belly, pausing at the top of that breath, holding that thing in mind for a moment, and then sighing it out. And the third thing, when you're ready, breathing in nice and deep. And letting go of that third thing, letting it make its way into the worry ball. And we'll keep breathing in that way, and on the next exhale, just focus on releasing any tension in your face. Just letting the tension fall into the worry ball now. And then the next breath, we're going to move a little further down the body. So releasing the tension in your neck and shoulders, your upper body, your chest and your back. The next breath, we're going to focus on releasing tension in our lower back, in our stomach, in our hips. And the next breath, on the exhale, just releasing any tension you're storing in your lower limbs, in your legs, your knees, your ankles. And one more big breath. And just letting go of anything that you would like to let go of before we begin the movement of our session. You can put it now into the giant worry ball, just letting it go. And we'll put that bowl out of sight, out of mind. Just let me know if you want anything back at the end, otherwise I'll pop it on my garden for fertilizer. And we're going to now give our subconscious mind permission to let go of anything that it's been holding on to. So you can speak out loud, repeating after me. I give my subconscious mind permission to let go of my worries and fears now. And having given your subconscious mind that permission to let go, we're going to help it along a little bit. So we're going to place our hands out in front of us and imagine that we're able to take whatever our subconscious mind was holding. Maybe it's a bit of tension, maybe it's a blockage somewhere. Just imagine taking that and placing it in the palms of your hands and just tune into how that might feel, the weight of it, the temperature, the texture of it. Once you get a sense of it, I want you to clamp down on it, take it out to the sides or up overhead and take a deep breath wherever you get to. We're going to throw it at the ground, let it go and say shoo, and just feel the energy shift out your fingertips. We're going to do it again. Just placing that stuckness, whatever the subconscious mind was holding on to, we'll place it in our hands. Clamp down, take it out to the sides or up overhead, take a deep breath in. Throw it at the ground, say shoo, and feel that energy shift. And one last time, really consciously this time, taking that stuckness, that blocked energy, putting it in your hands, clamping down, taking it out or up, and deep breath. Shoo, throw it away and give yourself a shake off, really shift whatever was being held. So if you have the energy, you might like to stand up and actually jump around and shake it off. But if you're low on energy, just meet yourself where you're at and just remain seated. Just maybe a gentle wriggle of the wrists. Maybe you want to bring your legs into it and sort of shift your knees a bit. However you feel, maybe you want to swing your arms around. Just allowing yourself to release anything further that can be released. Maybe shrugging the shoulders, maybe scrunching up your face, whatever you would like to do. And when you're ready, we're going to bring our attention to our lower belly with slightly cupped hands. We're going to tap our way from here all the way up our body, and we're going to unblock anything further that we can unblock. Now, if tapping is too much for you, you can move over these same parts in a brushing motion instead. Otherwise, just tapping your way up onto your chest and over to one side and coming down this inside of your arm. And we're going to build up some happy seal energy and look as ridiculous as you possibly can this morning. Big smile on your face. Round of applause for us all. Yeah! And tapping your way back up the outside of your arm. And give yourself a massive pat on the back for showing up for yourself in this way. And we'll tap our way over the other side and down this arm, shifting anything that needs to be shifted. And you've got another opportunity for a big, happy seal, ridiculous walrus if you like. And tapping all the way back up. And another big pat on the back. And we'll bring our attention to our faces and just tap down the center like little raindrops, seeing if you can soften your expression even further. And another row slightly further out. And one down the edges of the face there. And we're going to make gentle fists with our hands and tap over the top of our head and down around to the back of your neck. And another row slightly further out and down and around. And just above the ears and down and around. And then we're going to find our kidneys, give ourselves a pat on the lower back and tap down the outside of our legs into the top of your feet and back up the inside. And just bringing your hands back to your lower belly and closing your eyes down, taking a few deep breaths here just at your own pace. And just allowing yourself this opportunity in this peaceful, quiet moment to check in with how it feels to be you. How it truly feels to be you in your body in this moment. So noticing that buzzing sensation from the tapping. Noticing what might be settling for you in your mind and in your body. Or maybe what's rising up for you. What are you noticing about your thoughts? Are they in the future or in the past or in the present? What else can you notice in your body? Does it feel a bit different from when you first clicked to open the Zoom or watch the recording? Just notice everything that you can without any judgment, just truly being with what is. And we might introduce a gentle sway from side to side, just starting to wake the body up nice and gently. And you're welcome to keep your eyes closed or blink them open. We're just going to move nice and gently, but keeping an awareness on the sensations in the body. So noticing how your muscles have to work a little harder from side to side as you move. Noticing the parts of you that feel a little limited in their movement, that feel perhaps a little constricted. You might like to take your sway forwards and backwards, curling your shoulders right over, tucking your head in, and then really opening yourself back up, opening your chest. Just allowing yourself to really explore your spine here. You might like to do some rotations as well. Maybe you just want to free flow. Maybe you want to drop one shoulder at a time. Maybe you just want to lean right back or fold all the way forward. There's no right or wrong way to explore the needs of your body. It's just your way. And if you like, you can add to this or stack a few practices together and introduce a gentle hum. So going ahead and taking a nice big inhale through the nose, breathing into your belly. And then hum as you make these movements, knowing that you're stimulating the vagus nerve and massaging it from the inside as you hum. You might like to also introduce some movement with your arms. Start creating an interpretive dance about how it feels to be you. If you like, you can stand up. Like I said earlier, just meet yourself where you're at. And if that means staying seated, then just stay exactly where you are. And if you wish, you can close your eyes, maybe imagining that you're treading water. If you are seated, you might like to bring some movement into it with your legs. You can also do the same. If you are seated on the floor, you might just like to stretch your legs out and just bring some movement into your ankles. It might feel good to just pause and then isolate one part of you and really tune into those movements, the way it looks and the way it feels, and then move another part of your body. Just exploring that difference between the pause and the free flow. And if you like, you can imagine that you've got a ball of energy between two of your hands and you're able to move it around your body. Just carrying that ball of energy. Maybe you want to take it up over the top of your head and take it around yourself. Maybe you want to imagine that you have a bowl of energy and you're able to pour that bowl of energy over yourself. It comes over like a shower, washing down over you. You can imagine whichever color you would like it to be. Maybe it's silver. Maybe it's white energy. Maybe it's gold. Just imagining whatever feels right for you. And when you feel ready, you can just start bringing your movements back to a bit more stillness in the center. Returning to a gentle sway. And we'll just connect in with our face for a moment and see if we can get rid of any worry out of our expression before the day really begins. So let's just press down the forehead, pinch your eyebrow when you get there. Shift any worry out of your face. And once you get to the edge of your eyebrows, we're going to switch direction and go across the face this way, just painting a nice soft line on your eyelids, painting that rainbow up your face, pressing a little firmer on your eyebrows, feeling the texture of your hair. Really tuning into the sensations of where you apply that pressure. Or maybe you're tuning into the sensations in other parts of your body, noticing how each part of you feels. And don't forget to continue to breathe. Hopefully you're able to breathe through your nose, a nice detoxifying breath. And breathing into your belly. And once you reach your hairline, maybe coming over to your temples and exploring some pressure here. Perhaps moving down over your cheekbone, finding the joint in your jaw. And just feeling for those tender areas, knowing that there's probably a lot of tension and trauma from your life that you're storing here. And just massaging into it, allowing it to get that love and attention so it can release. You might like to move your mouth open and closed and just feel how that movement feels as you massage in to those areas. Just exploring what's there for you. There might be just under your cheekbone might feel really tight and tender, or it might be more in that joint. Just have a little poke around on your jaw. And if it feels good to give your cheeks a big old smoosh, go ahead and smoosh them. Maybe take them forward, make fish lips, and take them back, or smoosh them around in circles. And perhaps you want to take your attention over your eye socket, like the bony part underneath your eyes, and over to your nose. Massaging down around the sides and underneath your nose. And onto your chin. And around the sides of your jaw. Just noticing along here which areas are tense. And coming up to your ears. Let's explore all these nooks and crannies of our ears. Noticing how it feels there, but also noticing if there's other parts of your body that start to wake up as you touch on these reflexology points in your ears. And massaging in the front and behind your ears as well. And coming down either side of the neck, let's massage our vagus nerve from the outside now. And let's go and explore the surface of our skull. So you might like to begin from the back of your head, just following from your hairline up into your skull. Just noticing if you're storing any tension up in here. Just feeling for anything that needs a bit of extra love in this moment. And taking your hands up into your hair. Getting some volume up in there. If you've got one of those skull massager things, then you can use that as well. And again, just tuning into those sensations that you're able to create as you give the surface of your head this love and attention. And if this is feeling really good, you can of course stay here for a little longer, or you can join me in opening up our lymphatic flow for the day. So just coming down to your collarbone and rubbing above and below it, back and forth 10 times over or thereabouts. And then tapping on that area about 10 times. I say about because I always forget to count. Well, it's not that I forget, it's just that I'm not good at multitasking. So I can't talk and count at the same time. So you can judge it however it feels right. And tapping on this side. And then we're going to come back up to underneath our jaw and just rubbing downwards on this area. It might feel a little tender, so just go easy if it does. And then gently tapping on that same area as well. And the other side. And bringing those gentle fists back, we're going to take them in a downward motion from the center to the edges and back and forth. And then when you're ready, just pretend you're a gorilla. And oh, that sounds cool. And then we're just going to massage in underneath our underarms. And then punching into that crest. And the other side. And underneath your breasts or pecs, just alternating that backhand, that top hand, back and forth. Morning brain. And then we're going to tap on this area. And then my favorite, looking super sus, we're going to find the crease in our groin and in a down and out motion, just rub with your thumbs. And then tapping on that area. And then finding underneath your knee, we're going to rub under here. And just coming back to your seated position. And we'll just massage into our neck and shoulders a little bit. I know that they can get a little stiff if we're storing our tension here, like many of us do, carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders. So we're just going to massage in here. If you like, you can keep your head still and just massage in with your hands, or you might like to explore a little bit of movement from side to side with your head, or maybe side to side this way. If you are moving your head around, just making sure it's nice and slow and controlled within your limits. You don't want to overdo anything. Just using this time to explore the tension that you might be storing here in any way that feels right for you. And when you're ready, once your hands have had enough, let's just clasp them together, press out and away from the body. Just really stretching over your shoulders. You can stay here, you might want to tuck your head in. Or you can just shift from side to side, get some movement going in that stretch. Just feeling the side body really stretching open on one side as you move to the opposite knee. And then when you're ready, just taking it up overhead. You're going to stretch up nice and tall. And if you like, you can stay just here, or you might like to just take it for a side lean. And just hold here and wait for your body to tell you when it's had enough. So just tuning in to feel for that heat or shakiness or whatever other sensation that you feel when your body whispers to you, yep, we're done here. And once you feel that, just bring yourself back to center. You might like to stretch up tall again with another inhale. Take it over the other side and just do the same thing. It might feel a little different. Maybe the signal starts sooner on this side. Maybe you can last a little longer. But just tuning in to your body's language, and how it speaks to you. And as you hear, feel, sense those signals, just bring yourself back. And you can drop your hands behind your head and just open up your chest a little. And maybe you'd like to just twist around from side to side. Maybe you'd like to increase your detoxifying actions and get a real big fascia twisting motion happening. So taking one knee down to, one elbow down to the knee, and then back up, and then the other side. Or maybe bringing a knee up to meet your elbow. You might like to cycle through all of those. And just tuning into the sensations of your body as you move through these practices. And just noticing what parts of you really heat up as you use them. Which parts of you feel like they're strengthening. And when you're ready, once your body has had enough, you can just let your hands go, create some spirit fingers down the sides. Annalise, that's for you. And just clasping your hands back behind you and bringing your shoulders back, opening up your chest. And here again, you might like to get a little twisting motion happening, maybe leaning into this stretch, pulling those arms away. And when you're ready, you can let go of those. And if you are on the mat, then just lean yourself back and bring your feet out a little wide. We're just going to drop our knees down to one side and then switch it over to the other side, get some movement happening in our hips and our knees. And just going at your own pace between the sides there. Maybe you like to hold it for a few breaths, or maybe just follow your breath. And anyone who is on a chair, and just making sure you're nice and stable in your chair, and then just dropping one of those legs down, and then the other one. And just moving through that same internal and external rotation. And if this one is feeling really good for you, then continue on with it. If you like, you can bring your feet into meet in the middle and just hold onto your ankles, stretch yourself up nice and tall. And maybe you want to pull your body forward and lean into that. Maybe you even want to walk your hands forward and just get a nice big opening happening in your hips there. And just breathe through any sensations or emotions that arise, knowing that we do store a lot of tension and trauma here in our hips as well. And if you're seated doing this practice, then just sitting forward, opening up your stance with your legs and leaning into that opening there. If you like, if you're able to, you might want to lean right over, place your hands on the floor. But just leaning in ever so gently is enough to create a stretch here. So if that's all that you can do, that is perfect. Do that. So just continue to breathe nice and deep. If you need to take the tension out of it, you can just pull yourself back a little bit, release that stretch a little. And when you feel ready, once your body has signaled to you it really has had enough in this position, just bring yourself back to seated position. For those of you on the mat, we're going to place ourselves lengthways and just lower ourselves down. So if you like, you can just go straight down onto your back, or you can engage your stomach muscles by leaning back and just holding there, maybe lifting your legs and cycling through them. And just hold for as long as you possibly can until you feel the heat and shakiness happen in your belly, and then lower yourself down vertebrae by vertebrae. And for anyone who is practicing from their chair, just creating a similar posture, just leaning yourself back. And again, doing that interception exercise, so feeling for your body signals when it's time to move from here. And when it is time to move from here for you, you can lean yourself back up and engage your muscles at the back there. And for anyone who is now on their mat, you can do a similar thing, engaging the back of your muscles by lifting your body up. And another variation is placing your feet together and lifting yourself up. Your body has to work harder to create this one, so you might feel a bit more shakiness as your body holds you stable in this position. And once your body has signaled to you it's had enough, then just lowering yourself down onto the mat. You might like to keep your knees out if they're already out, or perhaps if they're not already there, then take them out to the sides. Just create a nice big opening in your hips yet again. Maybe also opening up your chest with your arms either side. We'll just take a moment to rest and breathe into our core, so breathing in through the nose, into your belly. And anyone who's seated, just doing a similar thing. You may not have your arms up, but you just have your body open and breathing nice and deep into your core. And when you're feeling ready, we're just going to get ourselves into a more comfortable position. So if you like, you can lengthen your legs, maybe put your hands by your sides, facing up to receive or down to crown. Or if you're seated, just reposition yourself in any way that feels comfortable. And if you need a cushion for anywhere, for your head, whatever you need, if you want to hug onto it, go ahead. We're just going to do a grounding guided visualization. So I invite you, wherever you are, to just find that bit more comfort for yourself, allowing yourself to relax into the surface beneath you. And as you do, just begin to relax even deeper into your body. And perhaps you're able to notice how the surface beneath you supports your body, and observe how that support feels as your body settles into this moment, into this stillness. And maybe you're noticing your surroundings and tuning into the sounds nearby. Or maybe your attention is drawn to the different tones in my voice or the background noises here. Or perhaps your focus is turning inward and your attention is being drawn deep into your body and noticing the internal sensations that are happening inside of you. Maybe you're choosing to focus on your heartbeat, feeling it there steadily beating in your chest. Perhaps you're even unconsciously aware of the movement of blood flowing steadily throughout your body as your heart continues its rhythm. Or maybe your attention is drawn to your lungs, how they instinctively know when to take air in and when to let the air go. Or perhaps you're noticing how easily you can let go of thoughts, detaching from any that arise and simply witnessing them as they float through your mind, letting each one drift away. As you settle deeper into your body and settle deeper into this space where your body rests, I invite you to give yourself permission to be authentically you and to accept where you are at in your life right now. And having given yourself this permission, you may notice how much easier it is to relax even deeper now. You might notice how now you're able to let your body release even more tension. Maybe you can feel your facial muscles softening. Maybe you're noticing how your body allows itself to let go of anything that isn't comfort and ease. And as you continue to settle, I invite you to let your mind soften, to loosen the grip of any thoughts about what's ahead or what has come before, and simply allow yourself to arrive here in this present moment, letting each breath bring you closer to that calm center within. And taking a deep breath in now, and as you exhale, let your body soften just a little more. Let your shoulders drop, your chest open, and the weight you've been carrying gently slide away. And as you allow yourself to breathe nice and slow at the pace and rhythm that feels right for you, I invite you to become curious. Not curious to solve anything, but simply to observe what it's like to be here in this moment, just as you are. Allowing yourself this moment of curiosity to notice what's alive within you right now. To notice where your mind goes. To get curious about the sensations within your body. Noticing where your energy flows. And whether there are parts of you where it doesn't flow at all. Because sometimes within us there are blocks, emotional energy that wasn't able to move through us at the time, and so instead it became lodged within us, contributing to the discomfort and dis-ease within the body. And sometimes it can feel like our blocks are external to us as well. And sometimes it can feel like there's a hurdle so big it blocks our way. Perhaps doubts, fears, or even the weight of self-criticism. But isn't it fascinating that the very act of noticing the hurdle means you've already started to climb it? You're already on the path forward, even if it doesn't feel that way. And I know that many of us can get stuck in freeze, feeling that all too familiar fear of failure, because so much of what we've tried in the past hasn't worked. So it can sometimes feel frightening to want to try something else in case we fail at that. But I invite you to consider with me for a moment this fear of failure. It can feel so real, can't it? It can feel paralyzing, and so we avoid doing anything at all. Yet, when we avoid trying anything, aren't we already experiencing that very failure we feared? So in a roundabout way, failing to try is the act of leaning into your own fear of failing, as you're already failing at trying. So then you're succeeding at moving beyond your fear of failure, rendering it non-existent. I guess just like success can look and feel different for each of us, failure can look and feel different for each of us. But just like we can reframe and redefine success, we can do the same with failure. For me, failure doesn't exist because anytime I fall down, I learn, and I see learning as winning. And for me, success looks and feels like progress. Progress from where I was the day before. which means I am successful every day, even on the shittest days, because I learn so much about myself and about the world through the practice of curiosity. And perhaps you are like me in that you've got a curious mind too. And maybe your curiosity leads you, like it used to lead me, towards anxiety. Because I was trying so hard to analyze and understand everything and pack it into a neat little box, and I couldn't. It was like I was trying to capture running water in a bucket. I had missed the point of the running water. So instead, these days, my curiosity doesn't require answers. In fact, it's got a heavy focus on simply asking questions. So I find myself often with the thought, oh, isn't that an interesting reaction I'm having? Or, what's this sensation moving through me right now? I wonder if that's connected to the thought I just had. Or, I wonder what happens if I focus on something else for a bit. And so my curious mind wonders what might change for you if you allowed yourself to simply open up that neat little box you're trying to pack your understanding of life into, and simply opened it up with unanswered questions for a while. Perhaps your critical mind could take a holiday, and you might find your intuition is able to step in and take over to help guide you towards all that is necessary for you to know. And there's a lot of talk about self-sabotage in the world lately, and I used to feel that I was sabotaging myself a lot. But something my teacher says to us is that self-sabotage doesn't exist. It's actually just a skills gap. He says that the person just doesn't know the next step in the process, and so they start looping around, unable to move forward toward what they want. So the fact that you're struggling to move forward on your healing journey simply means you need to learn some new skills. Your old skills have got you to this place, so we can be grateful for them. But perhaps those old skills can't help you to thrive moving forward. And perhaps it's a matter of unlearning some of them so you have space to learn new skills. Think of learning to walk. No one expects a child to run before they crawl. So falling is part of the process, and every stumble is a step toward balance. So healing, like walking, is just another skill requiring time, patience, and kindness. And the way we learn is by imitation or intuition. So you can look to others who have healed and learn the skills they learned, or you can look within and reconnect with your own intuition to guide you. Tuning in to receive those messages from your inner knowing on how to develop new skills that will help you in your process of transformation. Because that's the thing, everything is a process. Imagine a caterpillar, methodical, moving slowly, and one day it retreats into its cocoon. Perhaps the caterpillar watched others for cues on when and how to build the cocoon, but once inside, it doesn't know exactly what's happening, but it intuitively trusts the process. And transformation looks different from the inside to the outside. In the beginning stages, from the outside, not much changes, but inside the cocoon is chaos. And then there's a switch, and all of a sudden the transformation becomes chaotic as the breakthrough comes. The inner hidden transformational chaos can no longer be contained by the cocoon, and so what once was a caterpillar emerges when the time is right as a butterfly. It doesn't rush, it doesn't force. The process simply unfolds naturally. And your journey is no different. Healing doesn't happen all at once. It's about small, manageable steps in the process, just one at a time. There's a tale I like to tell of a butterfly that was trying to emerge from its cocoon, and a small girl saw it struggling and tried to help it, so she cut open the cocoon to free the butterfly. But once freed, the butterfly just limped around on the ground and eventually died. For you see, the butterfly's wings are formed in the struggle. The way the butterfly must push against the resistance of the cocoon is the most important part of the transformation process. It's what creates its strength and resilience. Without that step in the process, without that struggle, the butterfly cannot be its authentic expression of itself. It cannot fly, and therefore it cannot live. And maybe you've noticed your own strengths building along your own journey. And the more you learn and practice, the more strength you will build. I'm sure you've already experienced this throughout your life. You can only learn with an open and curious mind. And so now might be a good time to start to learn the language of you, the language of your body. Perhaps it's time to apply that curious mind of yours to the task of deciphering what your body has to say to you. Because the body speaks in sensations, in energy and feelings, not in words. And perhaps you've noticed emotions that linger unprocessed, weighing you down. But isn't it interesting that emotions, like energy, are meant to move? Healing isn't about holding on to those emotions. It's not about understanding them and neatly boxing them up. It's about letting them flow, about releasing them gently, to become aware of them and feel them, not to dwell, but in order to finally let them go. And I know that some of this might seem foreign right now, and these might be new concepts, but that doesn't need to alarm you, because healing, like learning any skill, happens step by step. There was a process to becoming unwell, and there's a process to getting better. You don't have to take giant leaps. Small steps, done consistently, create momentum. And each step you take proves to yourself that healing is possible, that progress is possible in every area of your life, even when it feels so slow. So in those moments when it does feel like you're stuck, perhaps you might like to imagine yourself like the caterpillar, literally trapped inside its cocoon in the chrysalis phase of sludgy, oozy metamorphosis, pushing up against the walls of the cocoon that it created to contain itself in the process. And so you might like to consider that the hurdles you sense are in front of you or within you are actually not your enemy. Those hurdles are a part of you, there to ensure that you learn and grow and transform. You are not the problem. You are actually the solution. And every small step forward, every effort proves how resourceful, resilient, and capable you are. And when you feel uncertain of yourself, remember that you can ask for help, or you can tune into your intuition, and you can trust in your ability to meet the moment, one breath and one choice at a time. And as you consider all that has been said and all that has been left unsaid, I'll give you a moment to consider if you'd like to set yourself a new intention. Perhaps you've become aware of an action you'd like to take moving forward, a choice you intend to make that will help you progress further on your healing journey. So we'll give you a moment now. If you wish, you can speak your intention aloud. And as we begin to prepare ourselves to return to the present moment, I want to remind you all that it's okay to not have all the answers right now. We can be both a masterpiece and a work in progress all at once. And so when you're ready, just start to tune in to what your body is asking for in this moment, allowing your body to reawaken gently, perhaps stretching your arms or wiggling fingers and toes, rolling wrists and ankles. And when you feel ready, I invite you to go ahead and take a deep breath in and slowly sigh it out. And another lovely deep breath in. And a nice big sigh, letting go. And as you open your eyes, if they're not already, just know that you can carry with you the knowledge that every small step in the right direction gets you closer to where you want to be. And as we reawaken ourselves, if you are still laying down on your mat, you might like to curl yourself up into a little ball and just enjoy a moment of closeness, a nice little hug as you massage your back against the mat. And anyone who's seated, you might like to also create a moment of closeness, maybe just leaning down and holding your knees, folding over your body, or maybe bringing them up one at a time. And then when you're ready, just rolling yourself over to one side and pressing yourself up off the mat. Coming back up to a seated position. And we'll just move through another tapping sequence. Get our life force energy flowing freely again with cupped hands on the lower belly. Tapping all the way up the body. Gently moving that life force energy of yours and tapping over one side and down the inside, building up that happy, ridiculous seal energy for the middle. Yeah, round of applause, big smile on your face. Yoo-hoo! And tapping back up and all the way up. Give yourself a big pat on the back. Almost done. We'll tap our way down this side. Last chance for the ridiculousness of big happy seals, happy walruses in the middle. Yo! And tapping back up for one last big pat on the back. I'm super proud of you all for being here and doing these practices and bringing those raindrops to the center. Seeing if you can soften your expression even more. Release any more tension and worry out of your face. Let that resting bitch face fall right off. Maybe you don't have resting bitch face. Maybe that's a me problem. Just so you know, I'm never angry at you. Well, not never. Maybe I am angry at you, Annalise. But no, I just have mad resting bitch face. And tapping over your head, just above the ears and down around to the back of your neck. And then tapping on your kidneys and tapping your way down the outside of your legs onto the top of your feet and back up the inside. And resting your hands back on your belly once again, taking a nice big inhale, a big sigh, letting go, and just spending another peaceful moment here, checking in with how it feels having done these practices for this hour together. Noticing what might have changed in you from the beginning to the end of this session. Noticing if your thoughts are a little different, maybe they're a lot clearer, maybe they're just more present-based for thoughts. And just noticing the sensations in the body, noticing what might be settling, what might be rising up now. And go ahead and finish up our session with one hand on the diaphragm, one on our chest. And we're going to make one sound of VU together, nice and loud. So breathing in nice and deep. VU. And that does bring us to the end of our session. I want to thank you again for being here, for showing up in this community and for showing up for yourself in this way.